In a few hours, these grandstands at Skill Park will roar with the sound of 27,000 rugby league fans here to see the Indigenous and NRL All Stars lock horns in a showdown that's much more than a football game. Adding their voices to the crowd will be 60 Indigenous high school students from across Australia. Young leaders as driven to become legends in their own lives as the sporting heroes they love. The first NRL and Indigenous All Stars clash kicked off in 2010. Since then, it's gathered more momentum than a mighty front row forward. What started as a curtain raiser for the return of the league season is now a powerful celebration of cultural pride. Tens of thousands of fans are here to see Australia's premier Aboriginal rugby league team face off against their non-Indigenous rivals. Among them is a group of spirited Indigenous teenagers for whom tonight's game is the climax to a life-changing week. It started 5 days ago at sunny Surfers Paradise on the Gold Coast. Tourists throng here, but few could be as excited about their visit as these young people. They've been flown in from 3 states to see sand, surf, and the stars of Australian Rugby League.
Enjoy the week, just learn what you can from it, because you just don't know where you're going to go from here.
Retired Titan Preston Campbell is the father and founder of the Indigenous All Stars concept.
The first game, I think they didn't really expect it to be so big. The pride that was shown in all the people that were there, but also the pride that was shown in the guys that were playing, and so many different things that come from it with the funding. The federal government, DEWA, has been very supportive with the game.
That support is why these Year 12 students are here. They've been chosen to take part in the Learn, Earn, Legend All Stars Youth Summit, a live-in week of workshops leading up to the game. The aim? To empower and inspire them, to stay in school, get that job, and be leaders in their own communities.
Learn, Earn, Legend is really about school to work transition at its core. So what the students have done, they've done quite intense workshops on how to be in touch with their cultural history, how to take their culture with them when they may have to leave home and go away to a job or university. All young people struggle with how to present themselves, how to put their career aspirations forward, and how to get the best out of a conversation with any person.
Making conversation is first on today's agenda. Easy enough, unless the meet and greet is with your greatest rugby league hero. The NRL All Stars are here for breakfast and bonding.
Oh, this is what this week's about, isn't it? The boys are here to play footy, but at the same time, there is a bigger picture involved, and it's about encouraging the young people.
It's not actually about the game. It's more about what it actually gives back to the community. We get to have an influence on these young kids and their leadership skills. And I'm an Indigenous person myself from New Zealand, from the Māori culture, so I know what it means to my people, so I can feel what it means to these people.
After brekkie, players and students split into groups for an obstacle race.
Some of our team had to run over to the football player who was standing near an obstacle course of all these plastic cups.
Straight, just go. Keep going.
Then they had to pick up an envelope with an answer to a question, and if it was correct, it would contain pieces of a cut-up photograph of either an event or a famous person.
Each group must create a presentation based on an event or person in Indigenous history.
So an apology was rightfully deserved.
For Lockie and Benji's team, the theme is Sorry Day.
Their feelings about the apology that was in 2008 and talking about the stolen generation and how they would feel if that happened to them, and not necessarily Indigenous people, but myself and Benji, trying to get to how they would feel and put ourselves in the shoes of this stolen generation.
Anybody who's taken from their family would feel a lot of things. Distraught.
Distraught.
Lost.
Lost.
Angry.
Angry. You imagine you have a child and that child's taken away from you. How would you feel? Thank you.
The great Kathy Freeman is the next topic. And for this tribute, a young man from Townsville takes the floor.
Our Kathy, born in 73 in Mackay, she loved to run, so she set her goals high. When she won the gold, all around her stories was told. The first female Aboriginal, and back then that was original.
Terry's rapping skills in particular are quite extraordinary, but for us they're just a bonus. He's got such a wonderful personality, very softly spoken young man right at the beginning, but you just warmed to him straight away. There's something that you knew was really special about him.
You can do anything if you put your mind to it, just a strong will and the confidence to show your skills and make you shine. Kathy will remember it as one of the greatest of all time.
Listening to his lyrics, and it almost brings tears to your eyes because that's how he feels comfortable expressing it to you, and he's very good at it.
From breakfast with the NRL All Stars to lunch with the likes of Jonathan Thurston, Sam Thaiday and Scott Prince. It's a dream come true for these wide-eyed teenagers, sharing time with their Indigenous All-Star heroes.
We have that profile in our chosen sport where people sort of look up to you. All of us, we have our stories, and a lot of them are very inspiring. If you could sit down and get everyone's individual story, kids will, they'll obviously, their ears will open up, their eyes will open up, and they'll say, oh, geez, these guys have done it, now why can't I?
Preston Campbell's own story began in a small country town where he went to high school.
I went all the way through to year 12, but at the end of it, I had nothing. It was really, really scary. There was no opportunities out there for me. Really the first one that came up for me was to play rugby league, and I took that with both hands.
Crossfield linking with Preston Campbell.
His career in league was stellar, but Presto knew he needed a future beyond the field.
While I was playing rugby league, I completed a Certificate 4 in youth work and community services, so I was qualified to be able to work with these young ones. And it is a little bit different when you're playing rugby league. Usually you go out, sign some autographs, take some photos and play some footy with them. But now that I'm retired, we don't talk about rugby league, we talk about making a difference to the young ones' lives.
The power of league stars to inspire Indigenous teenagers is what Learn Earn Legend is about. Students were selected for the All Stars camp from a series of statewide summits held by the Gold Coast Titans, Brisbane Broncos and North Queensland Cowboys. Townsville is Cowboys' heartland. It was here, 6 months earlier, that the club hosted youth from across the tropics for 2 days of leadership sessions.
It's awesome, eh? They're a good bunch of kids and they love us coming out here, just talking. They're not shy at all. They don't mind having a bit of a laugh and that, so yeah.
It's a thrill to be coached by the likes of Will Tonga, Ray Thompson and Shannon Gallant. But the players are here to share more than footy tips.
Some of those sacrifices were tough at the time, but in the big picture, they were pretty easy. I know when I was in high school, rugby league players come out, meant a lot to me, and it's awesome to hear their story and how they made it and their struggles. And
when I was growing up in Cherbourg, I wasn't the best football player, in Cherbourg, or not even in my team, but I was, I wanted to make something, I wanted to be different to my mates. That's a big issue with the Aboriginal community, where they get themselves into a situation where they feel too shame or isolated or left out. And I was speaking to a few of the kids where they've experienced that, and my personal experience, I've been through that as well. That's how you approach it. It's just a little speed bump in your road to life, I guess. And if you can get through that, then there's good times ahead.
It was like a wonderful experience, just like learning about their life story.
and their background. Like messages about like life, choices you make, leadership.
Like they had a pretty hard life as well, like when they were young. So yeah, it's good to see where they end up now.
Danny Arnau is a mate of Terry's. Both are students at Townsville Shalom Christian College, a secondary school for Indigenous students.
Danny and Terry were both thrilled to make it down to the All Stars camp. You know, they're very proud to have gone through the process and been recognised and, you know, and been selected as one of those people that could be a leader for the future communities.
To qualify for the All Stars camp, the boys had to submit creative projects showcasing their leadership skills.
Trying to be the greatest, don't give a damn about the haters. Show no mercy, y'all can't hurt me, never fear. Just need see one chance, one shot is all I got. Celebrate when I graduate, the man of me. Do this for my family.
The way we had to be picked, we had to do leadership like presentation for my community or something. And mine was I chose to do a rap song because like, that's something I want to do.
We're very proud of Danny and Terry. They've both come a long way. So for Danny, for example, came here in grade 10 and he was one of the boys that could have went, you know, either way of the tracks, but he's really picked himself up, and through grade 11 and 12 he worked really, really hard.
Guys, come on, you got to be quicker than that.
He did a few tours up to the remote communities working with primary school kids, and that gave him the idea and the passion to want to be a PE teacher and to want to work with kids. And so now he's out there and doing a traineeship.
Oh, I go to into primary schools. I work from 9 till 3. I run little game sessions for half an hour. Come on guys, 3 more left, I'll give you a minute. Oh, I just enjoy running around with kids. And like seeing the smile on their face gives me a smile. Like seeing them happy makes you feel happy, like, you know.
So, Danny, do you think they're starting to get the hang of the game now?
Oh yeah, they're enjoying it.
Both of the boys are very, very switched on, so they think about what they do rather than go through the motions. So both of them are looking long-term about the goals that they want to achieve of having their own homes. Both of them would like to go and do some travelling overseas, and they've both planned out how they can get there to do that. Yeah, they couldn't pick two better boys to go down there, and I'm sure that they'll excel down at the camp down there, and they'll be a role model for some of the other kids that probably are at their camp. They're outstanding individuals.
They may be able to tackle an opponent, but can they carry a tune? The Indigenous All Stars team up with the students to find out.
We're actually writing a rap at the moment, so it's all about getting ideas on the paper at the moment. The rap's to involve a few key words that we've come up with as a group. It's to talk about the All Stars, it's to talk about our community and our mob, so yeah, it's very fun.
Alright, so we've got a good base of some words now.
You know, Indigenous people have always been good with those types of things, rapping and singing. So this is a good tool to not just get all the kids involved in a group thing, but it's a good way to show off their great skills as well.
Speaking of skills, Terry is on Sam's team.
He's head down and bum up at the moment. He's writing 1,000 words a minute, and I think that's why we chose him for our group.
Each team must now front the microphone.
The All Stars are showing us how to live a dream for Indigenous Youth Summit. This is the theme. You all know it, ready? All Stars! Who are you? All Stars!
It's good fun. You don't see them like on TV. They joke around a lot too, just like everyone else.
I'm going to learn every day. That's what I want. I'm proud of my life.
Oh, it's been fantastic, like getting to know them, where they come from, what they do. So yeah, I know most of them, but I love Jamal Idris, so sorry I just said that, but yeah.
You sort of forget about them being grade A football players and see them as more as cool guys.
Tough acts for Terry's team to follow.
We have to rip this up.
But they're up for the challenge.
We came from all over Australia and we're here to tell you that none of us are phased. We yearn to learn, want to earn, and in return give back to our people, show you we're equal, because we got a plan, we have a dream.
From the boy who couldn't even stand up to introduce himself in Townsville, he stood up in front of the 60 participants and shared some of his deepest, most personal moments through a rap song, and it was a very special moment for all of us. It was such a nice, comforting experience for the players to just come in and mingle amongst the students. The students just acted like they were normal, everyday people, and after they left, we were all, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just rapped for 5 minutes with somebody I've watched play football for the last 5 years at the top of the game.
What could possibly top rapping with a rugby league star? How about hitting the slides together at Waterworld? The students and players are taking over the water park for one wild night.
It was really good. I think his weight made us go a lot higher than we normally would.
He wasn't me, I'm the lighter one. Oh my God, what a thrill. It's all right when you first come down, but when it comes to the drop, your heart starts beating.
They're pretty cool actually. Jumped on the green room with a few of the kids, which was pretty scary, and then had to go on the wedgie. You get one literally, so it's pretty quick, but it's all good fun. Yeah, that's what it's all about, is having a bit of fun with the kids and you know, inspiring them to be better in their own lives. So, you know, it's a great concept and hopefully it's around for many years to come.
As the light fades, the barbecues fire up, and so does the dancing.
To be honest, it's actually hysterical. Never thought I'd be here, but who knows, man. So excited. Indigenous All Stars, like, to see them from where they come from to see where they are today is just amazing. And the NRL All Stars, you know, exactly the same. Like, some of them don't come from like rich families or like nice places where they grew up, but to see where they are today and like for our days, like society, it's wonderful to get something like this going. Awesome. That's all I can say. I'm stuck for words.
A perfect Gold Coast morning and the last day of the All Stars Youth Summit.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're naturals, okay? You've got your right foot back. You other guys that are like this, I think that's like Ocky or Goofies, okay?
The students hit the sand for a surfing lesson, and they're in the hands of impressive teachers.
We're here to take the Indigenous kids surfing. They don't get a lot of time to surf, so the waves are perfect out there for them. It's like a little shore break, about 2 feet, and I reckon we'll be able to get a few of them up. If I can get a couple of them up, and just to see the smiles on their faces, will be all time.
It's can't wait to get out there.
Right? They call this man the Indigenous Mark of the loophole.
I always forget that there are students out there that have never even seen ocean before or don't get to see the Gold Coast or have never been on planes before and certainly not ever met anybody close to the calibre that they've been mixing with this week.
It's fun. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Fun falling off, but.
Yeah, stand up a couple of times.
Yeah, easy to lie down, but it's getting up you've got to worry about.
Yeah.
Getting up on a board is no problem for Dale Richards.
Surfing to me is one of the best feelings in the world. Just being amongst the water and hanging out with friends, and just like once you're in the water, it just feels like it washes all your problems away.
In 2007 on the Gold Coast, Dale became the first Indigenous surfer to reach the main round of a World Championship tour event. It was a groundbreaking triumph and a reward for tough beginnings.
Yeah, when I was growing up in Ipswich, there was heaps of racism around when I was a kid. Like at lunchtime, like we never used to interact with like the white kids or anything like that. We used to play football, like Aboriginals kids against white kids and stuff like that. Like we never used to be like a line in the sand. I got in a couple of fights at school when I was a kid, and Mum's like, "That's it. we're moving.
Dale's family moved to Coolangatta and that changed everything.
I started surfing when I was about 10 and I got sponsored by Quicksilver when I was about 13. So that was pretty quick to pick up surfing in that respect. And yeah, when I was about 14, 15, I started travelling around doing comps, and I didn't really look at it as being the first Indigenous surfer to do this or do that. I was more or less just going out there and just surfing. And
Dale's pro surfing days are over. He now earns a living at a Western Australian mine, coming home to the coast for a week out of every month. And between waves, Dale motivates other young people through the Learn, Earn, Legend program.
I've been all over the world. I've been in Hawaii, England, Spain. I wish I had those talks when I was growing up, for sure. Like actually seeing what you work for and that sort of thing is just so rewarding.
It's still 7 hours until kick-off in the All Stars clash, but the students have an early pass into Skilled Park.
This is good teamwork.
They're rehearsing for a once-in-a-lifetime honour.
Yeah, that's perfect. Just try and need to make the space either side of you the same.
Before the game, there'll be a musical tribute to the late, great Artie Beetson, and the students will unfurl a huge banner of the legendary league star.
To see all the seats in front of everybody, like thousands. The roar of the stadium when the players come out as well. So yeah.
This will be the climax of their week away from home, an unforgettable end to an amazing week.
A lot of these kids come from places where they aren't often appreciated very much for the wonderful skill that we're lucky to share with them. So for them to be able to stand in front of 25,000 people and the 25,000 people applaud them for being wonderful young people is something that they'll never be able to do again and something they'll remember forever. It's not just about a sporting match or being able to see some of their heroes. It's about being around some of their closest friends, being proud of who they are, being recognised as young leaders.
He puts a little kick over. There's a chance! I think they've got a try out of it. They have.
There's so many different things, we cannot relate to, but rugby league is one thing we can relate to. And whether you're Indigenous or non-Indigenous, we all have a heart, and we all want to make a change for the better. Being proud, that's where they get inspired, whether they want to play rugby league or want to do any other sport, or whether they want to go be doctors or politicians or whatever, teachers. I just hope it inspires them to get up and do well for themselves.
A great experience actually. Probably one of the best things that ever happened to me, and probably will ever happen to me actually.